Hello friends, welcome back to another video. Today we're going to take a look at the Delphic, which I've just completed here. Been way overdue. I actually put her on hold for a few weeks. I just sort of lost interest in her, but now I finally finished her after a bit of time. So the Delphic, she was a cargo ship mainly, but also she carried some steerage passengers in her stern. It was launched in 1897, and she was meant for transporting goods and emigrants to New Zealand. Yeah, she served for a decently long career. She served during the Second Boer War, transporting troops, and she continued transporting goods and emigrants during the majority of World War II, or World War I mean. But then in March 1917, she was turned into a well, not turned into, but she served the war effort from then on. And then in May that same year, she was torpedoed by the German submarine UC-72. 5 people were killed, and yeah, everyone else was evacuated in time though. So that's pretty nice. She's probably named after the ancient precinct of Delphi in Greece, or after the Greek word Delphis, which translates to womb. Keeping in line with White Star's utter adoration of anything Greek or Roman, both of those pretty much, or the origins of most names within their fleet, so I think that's pretty funny. So yeah, some fun facts here. Delphic was the first, or sorry, not the first, but the final ship in the White Star Line of their ocean liners to be fitted with square-rigged sails. They were removed pretty shortly after introduction though, so there are only 2 photos of her with these equipped. And then in the remaining photographs, she's a surprisingly well photographed ship. But yeah, after that, they're gone. They were removed because they realized that they didn't really need them. Delphic is also very interesting because she's kind of strangely proportioned. Her superstructure is not only painted black like Georgic, but it's kind of far back. She has this weird massive deckhouse on her forecastle deck. She has some crewmen in there, as well as the refrigerated machinery. And then she has all 4 masts, and her funnel are almost, I say almost entirely straight, as opposed to pretty much all other ships in the fleet, which are raked back. Why was this? I'm not sure. I've heard from Sven, who helps me with the ships, that she had a different designer, and he decided to take matters into his own hands and yeah, do his own thing. And it's not too uncommon. Some ships had straight funnels, and I believe the second Delphic also had a straight funnel and straight masts. The G class, I want to say, they were a class of cargo ships introduced during World War I. So I think she wasn't called Delphic during World War I, but she was renamed after the war. She was named something like War Icarus or something. But yeah, let's get the tour started. So she is a cargo ship, obviously, so she's not very interesting. She doesn't have many passenger spaces or anything like that. She has the bridge here. It's the same configuration as most ships at the time, with the flying bridge on top, and then the wheelhouse on the deck below here. There's also a chart room, and oh yeah, the captain's cabin is on this side. He also has a bathroom, good for him. Here's the funnel and the casing, as well as the what's it called? The engine room casing leaning down here. We'll get to that later. There's a mast here as well on the boat deck. There are 4 lifeboats on Delphic originally. I believe they added 4 more later. They added 2 here and 2 here, I'm pretty sure. They realized that they needed quite a bit more if they were transporting that many people. I think she could transport like 200 people. It's not that much, but yeah, 200 passengers I say, or I mean when I say people. She had like 150 crew maybe, roughly. And then in the bow here, there's the forecastle deck with the bow crane for the anchors and stuff like that. She had an auxiliary anchor here for some reason, and it was painted the same colors as the deck house for some reason. I guess they wanted it to like melt in as good as they could. Here are some of the, I believe this is a seaman. I need to change the sign, I forgot to do that. And there's also some lavatories and wash places for them here. If we go to the other side, we have the refrigerating machine. I really struggle with the word refrigerating. The machinery room in here to keep the holds on the deck below frozen, because they transported food and such. And it was during this time, of course, that the refrigerated, cargo trade started to really expand a lot, because that this equipment like started to be developed more and more, so you didn't really have much need for the cattle transport anymore and livestock to transport food. You didn't need to keep the animals alive anymore, which is horrible. But yeah, inside here we have the crew quarters. Here is the dining room, the saloon, where pretty much everyone ate except for the first class or the emigrant passengers. We have a pantry here, and then there was also a potato store, I think, here. Yeah, potatoes, lovely. We have some staterooms here for. I think there were some first class passengers on the ship, so that's pretty cool. 1, 2, 3, yeah, 3 in total. Here's the ship steward. And then a spirit room, of course, we gotta have spirit. Bath and WC for the passengers and some of the crew. We have a carpenter shop, just some various rooms here. Cutty store, paint store. Scullery to wash all the plates from the saloon. We also have the galley here, where the food was cooked. You also have a little skylight. There's also a butcher shop, as well as a baker shop in here. Let's do the other side first, finish that. Then here is the engineers area, all this aft section. So you have the refrigerating engineers, then you have their lavatory, their mess room where they ate and hang out. A small little pantry here. And this is also where you would enter the engine room, basically. Further aft, we have all of the remaining engineers. So 4th engineer, junior engineers, 2nd, 3rd. So here's some stewards. 3rd class entrance, we'll get to that later. And then we have the chief engineer back here. We have the ice house, very important. Carpenter, master at arms, quartermasters, boys, petty officers lavatory, petty officers bath. Petty officers are basically quartermasters, master at arms, carpenters, those kind of like the petty crew, so to speak. And bosun and mate as well. We have some cooks, chief cook, baker, greasers. Why is that sign there? And we should have the fireman here, yeah. Firemen and greasers are in this area as well. Here is where you would access the food stores, leaning down. We'll get to that in a bit. Here's the galley again. There's an entrance on this side. We have a bread store, as well as a donkey man and storekeeper. This is where they had their cabin. Bath, WC, doctor, And this is the officers' quarters, so they look like this pretty much. Pretty nice. And the fireman would enter through, there were 2 doors, there's one there, one here. To enter the boiler rooms, you would climb down these stairs. And that's pretty much this deck house. Now, well, let's do this first here. So we have the hospital here. In this deck house. There's one on each side. And then here, you have the steering gear, the engine to power the rudder, as well as the lamp room. And a spare room for something, spare stuff. And here's the docking bridge, of course, as always. The emigrants or the third class passengers could enter their quarters below at least one way, but there's probably 2. You had these stairs here leading down, like so. And I also based, because Delphic doesn't have any deck plan, so I based all of this on Suevik mostly, the one of the members of the Afri class, or the, as it's wrongly known, Jubilee class. Third class entrance here as well, so they could enter. So yeah, this is all based on Suevik as well, the core of it. There are some cabins here. This is how they looked. They're not, can you call them cabins? These ones are cabins, but like there were like these larger ones, like birthing spaces with many beds inside. Here is a pantry serving the dining room for the third class passengers. Yeah, here's a big birthing space. There's also a smoke room here. And yeah, more cabins all around this area. They have some lavatories here. And baths as well, I think. Yeah, baths here. And yeah, that's pretty much that for third class. And all crew quarters, I think. I don't think there's much left. So the remaining spaces on the ship are just cargo holds, pretty much. The ones in the bow here, the 340 ones. So this one, and this one, these were all refrigerated. So they were separated off with these bulkheads, with these doors. So here it was quite cold inside here. And then in the stern there are just the regular cargo holds that aren't refrigerated at all. We should check out the food stores real quick, because why not? They were here again, that we saw earlier. Walk down here, you get to the meat room. Have the meat hung up on these rails. And then you also had a milk room with fruits. I need to fix that. And vegetable. Oh no, no, okay. I forgot to put milk in the milk room. I have some milk, but not all of it. Okay, that's weird. Yeah, vegetable room. And that's the food stores. And then finally, let's finish off with the boiler room. So let's head down these stairs here. This is the same configuration as most White Star Line livestock and cargo ships up to this point. They had the 2 double-ended boilers on the outsides, on both sides here. And then they also had 2 single-ended boilers in the middle here, so they were not connected like this. The idea with this was that while you were in port, you would have one of these single-ended ones be used for machinery, deck machinery and such, so you wouldn't have to keep all the boilers on at the same time. And then in here, you have some of the coal bunkers, very dark. They probably wouldn't have been lit up. They would bring lanterns in here when they had to work in the trimming spaces to keep all the coal level. You wouldn't want too much coal on one side, because then the ship would list. So that's why they employed trimmers. That was very important position for crew. And then finally here is the engine room. So I basically copied from Georgic. It would have been very similar. So yeah, that's pretty much that. We have some more equipment here with the electric engines and such. And we have the propeller shaft alleyways going back into the propellers. So yeah, that is the Delphic. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed the world download if you download it. Now from after this, it's time for the Cymric, as she is pronounced. She's spelled Cymric, but of course she's named after Wales, which is pronounced Cymru. And yeah, Cymric. No, Cymru, not Cymru. Cymric. I'm sorry. I'll see you guys then. Take care. Bye bye.